Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm King Tosh, your host for today's show. So today we are looking at a 1991 Peugeot 205 Rallye. I'm showing you guys my all-wheel drive drift tune, but before we do, let's look at some specs on the original car that came out in 1991. Plus, let's have a nice look around of the car, and I'll talk about it when I get into it. So you got a 4-cylinder right here. And if you can also tell, you have, the jack for the car in case it gets a flat tire. They really put some detail into this engine compartment. I'm really impressed. Got nice coloring on the front grille there. You also have a badge right on the side. Everything is really focused on the driver's side, and I'll show you what you mean. So even the lines in the back are on the driver's side. Got a nice trunk for some bags if you want to take this out on the dirt road to your favorite campsite. As you can tell, there's nothing on the seals here, nothing on the door portraying that says anything about Rallye, but like I said, it's all about the driver. So when you go into the driver's side, that's different. You actually have stickers on the side, on your door. It's all portraying to rally racers, where their names are on the side, in the window, and whatnot. This thing's got a 225 kilometer an hour speedo. Right when I first saw that, I was like, what? This thing goes 200 miles an hour? I highly doubt it. I think we're going to take this for a spin real quick. And then we'll get the stats going on. And we'll compare them to Forza Horizon 4. As you can tell, it is front-wheel drive. As the interior view, you can see down there 200 miles per hour, but it's not 200 miles per hour, it's kilometers an hour.
You have arrived at
No points because we're not drifting yet. That's a fun little car. They handled the turn pretty darn well. So let's get into the stats of this original car before I show you guys my tune. So we go here and we'll press up and you guys can see the specs as I read it off to you. The Peugeot 205 Rallye is a 3-door hatchback bodied car with a front-mounted engine powering the front wheels. The Peugeot 205 Rallye's engine is a naturally aspirated petrol at 1.3 liters. Single overhead camshaft 4-cylinder with 2 valves per cylinder. In this application, it had a max output of 102 horsepower. Forza Horizon, you're a little off. It also had 89 foot-pounds of torque. You're off by a couple on that. And that 102 horsepower was at 6,800 RPM, and the 89 foot-pounds of torque was at 5,000 RPM. It had a 5-speed manual gearbox, delivered the power to the wheels. It weighs a claimed 790 kilograms at the curb, which is probably around 1,700 pounds. The Peugeot 205 Rallye is claimed to have a top speed of 118 miles per hour. This one says it can go 120 with less horsepower than it's said, less torque, yet it actually is faster than the original. That's pretty much about it that they cover. Engine wise, 1.3 liter, 1294 cc. Anything else that you guys really need to know? I mean, everything's on, Google these days. Fuel consumption. Usually I don't understand this stuff because I'm in the States, but it says 5.5, 7.6, 9.6, 1/100 kilometers at 90 kilometers an hour, 120 kilometers an hour in urban. Maybe one of you guys can tell me this in miles per gallon. I would like to know. I know those cars over there get a lot better gas mileage than U.S. cars because of our regulations and our emissions and everything else. I remember picking up a thing about a Honda over in the UK that was getting 72 miles per gallon. That's what at least it said. Oh, I know European cars definitely get way better gas mileage than American cars. They may not be good for, smog and whatnot, but they definitely are better. Anyways, getting right down to it. That was the car. Let me show you guys the tune I put onto it. So, we go from 99 horsepower to 668 horsepower. This is the biggest engine, the most horsepower engine you can get out of here. If you really want to know, before I download this tune, let me show you guys the power I can get out of this car. So you got 99 horsepower. The max you can get out of the stock engine is goes way up to a A class. Okay. For 22,000 credits, you can get this thing up to 287 horsepower with 220 foot-pounds of torque. It also goes up to a 1.6 liter. That's about it. That's all the power you can get out of this thing. You increase by 8.7 miles per hour. So not really a huge jump. Not really to work with. Abandon setup. Go to My Tune and download. So it's already got one download and one use. Second, third gear, easy all-wheel drive drift. King Posh Gaming at YouTube. Install. Now let's look at everything that I put onto this car. Like I said, the engine options are not really that great. This isn't like the Nissan Pulsar GTIR that had so many engine options. Stock powertrain swap there. I'm using the 1.6 liter inline 4. And then you also have a 1.8 liter inline 4 turbo. And it starts out at 200 horsepower and it hits around like 400 or 500 horsepower as I can remember. It wasn't great, so I went with this. Alright, you can do stock powertrains front wheel drive, you got rear wheel drive, and then you have an all wheel drive. Body kits, there are none. A wide body kit on this would have been pretty sweet, but they don't have one. The only option you have for the front is this massive light fixture. Nothing else. I just thought that was like overkill, so I didn't want to run it. And on the back, you got that same huge spoiler in the back for hatchbacks. I think they could have done a little bit better, raised up the roof a little bit, put a nice, spoiler that just stuck right out. They could have really done something to it. But nope, they Forza-ized it. Here we got a stock tower compound. Stock width. You can get 255s max on this thing. Yeah, this is what they just look like. And you can get 305s in the rear. And look how just massive those are. You know, you could pretty much Americanize it and make it look like a muscle car. Alright. These are the original rims that came with it. They look like they just decided to pick up a bunch of donuts or spare wheels from the parts bin and throw it on the car. So I went with a multi-piece rim style and went with the ADV-1, the Forza rims. And they look great on here. I also maxed them out. You got 17s in the front and 17s in the rear. This is Drift, and I liked it a little bit better, so I brought it out the front track width, and then I also did it with the rear. Everything here is going to be in race mode. Once I fully upgraded the engine, I saw it was going to be an S1, so I just went from there. I wanted to make an A-class car, but it didn't have the power to do it. So we did it this way. You got the drift suspension on here. You also have Rallye, really bring it up. You got race, and you got sport. Here we got anti-roll bars for the front and the rear. And why not throw a race roll cage? Alright, and still make it light as possible. Almost 700 horsepower, not really, but on a 1,600-pound vehicle, it's nuts. It's a lot of fun. And there's not really much options for here, so you got race cams, race engine block for your displacement, race turbo, and remove restrictors for more airflow. Tune on this thing is right here. I'll be quiet and you guys can see them. And there you have it. There is the tune. If you want it, it's here. It's called King's All-Wheel Drive Drift. Alright. Like I said, it's already got one download, one use. I'm pretty sure it'll be used again. So it is there. It is an S1887. That's as high as I could get it. Using a stock tire compound. Now, yeah, if you go for a race tire, anything, you're going to go past that. If you go for any tires, you can go with these. You know, if you need a little bit more stick, you can go with the street compound. But everything else, you know, S2. You know, all the way up there. All up to you guys. Yes, it's got very thin tires, so it does drift. I took it around this track and called it good. I didn't take it to needle climb yet. That is your job. And you guys get to tell me how it does. She does slide. Gotta get on her. It's pretty smooth.
You have arrived at your destination.
I know if you add more tire to it, you know, you might get more points. It really depends on what kind of drifter you are. I mean, a lot of people aren't, you know, punch drifters. You know, they want to just slide with their friends. And this is perfect to do it. This will keep up with your friends. Going sideways at, like, you know, the one park on this map where, you know, you're going around all those shipping containers. This has the gearing to do it. It's light. It's got skinny tires, so it'll just slide with ease. So it'll be good.
You have
Look
arrived
at that,
at
there's
your
a 48.
destination.
Get those tires warmed up, it's not too bad. You got those nice tires that can turn. Got that drift kit, yo. And it looks good. I said about 500 horsepower from that other engine. I think it was 500 horsepower. Let's go buy it. Let's just find out. And I'm pretty sure it gets less horsepower, but I could be wrong. So we got 668 horsepower here, and the only option is a 1.8 liter inline 4. All right, it's $30,000. Here we go through here. Do all the upgrades to race. We'll see what kind of power it gets. And why that other engine that I used, the 1.6 liter, is the better engine. Yeah, I was right. About 512 horsepower, 421 foot-pounds of torque. So, definitely right on that end. 0 to 60, 4.3, 7, failed. But that's $60,000. So mine was definitely the better choice. That's what I usually do. I just sit here and I find out what the max horsepower is. Now, if you see my Nissan video, the max horsepower engine is a 3.8 liter V8 or V6. Either way, it is. I think it's V6. It's garbage. It has 1,017 horsepower, fully upgraded, but if you take it on like low tight turns, it will bog down to almost stopping your car. I just didn't like it, so I went with the stock engine. It was great, but yeah, this one definitely 668 horsepower, 682 blows the horsepower and torque out of both engines. So that's why we went with it. Alright guys, well hey, I hope you enjoyed this video and the stats that I said, and definitely let me know what the miles per gallon this thing actually got. I'd really like to know, give me, some American facts if you can. If you can't, that's fine too. I'll live. Alright guys, well hey, thanks for watching about the 1991 Peugeot 205 Rallye. I will catch you next time. Peace out. I'm King Posh.